My friends, let me hit you with a thought from the great Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Let that sit with you, because today we're talking about flipping the script when someone hurts you. We're not reacting. We're mastering the art of confusion. And trust me, this one's going to feel like a wake-up call. Let's get real for a second. When someone disappoints you, whether they ignore you, betray you, or just take you for granted, it feels like a punch to the soul. Like they walked into your life, knocked over your carefully built sandcastle, and walked away without a second glance. But here's what they don't realize. You're not the sandcastle. You're the ocean, and you can rebuild over and over again, stronger every single time. That's your power. Now, most people react. They lash out, beg for closure, or try to make sense of the chaos. But my friends, reacting is like pouring gasoline on a fire someone else started. It burns you more than them. And here's the kicker. They expect you to react. They're waiting for the drama, the texts, the tears. But when you don't give it to them, oh, you've just turned the game upside down. Picture this. Someone hands you a remote control and expects you to let them change your channel, your mood, your thoughts, your energy. But when you take that remote and turn off the TV, they're left staring at a blank screen. That's what happens when you don't react. You leave them confused, unsure, and questioning their own moves. And let me tell you, nothing messes with someone's ego more than realizing they don't have the power they thought they did. But how do I do this when I'm hurting, you ask? Simple. Start with acceptance. Not for them, but for yourself. Think of pain like a storm. It's wild, loud, and sometimes terrifying. But storms don't last forever. Instead of running outside with a bucket to stop the rain, sit back and watch it pass. That's the mindset of a Stoic. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it. That matters. Feel the pain, but don't let it define your next move. Here's a metaphor for you. Imagine you're holding a priceless vase. Someone walks by and tries to knock it out of your hands. If you flail around, trying to stop them, you risk dropping it yourself. But if you stand still and hold your ground, the vase stays safe. That vase is your peace, my friends. Protect it. Don't let anyone's actions make you drop it. When you choose not to react, you're not being passive. You're being powerful. Your silence speaks louder than words. It says, I don't need to explain myself. I don't need to chase your validation. And guess what? That's the moment they start to question themselves. They'll wonder why their usual tactics aren't working. They'll feel the void your calm creates. That's the kind of confusion you want to leave behind. Let me tell you a story. There was a man who worked tirelessly to build a beautiful garden. One day, someone walked by and threw garbage into it. The man didn't get angry. He didn't chase the person or demand an apology. Instead, he quietly cleaned up the mess and kept tending to his flowers. Over time, the beauty of his garden became so radiant that even the person who threw the garbage started to admire it. That's you, my friends. Your life is your garden. Don't let anyone's trash ruin your masterpiece. And here's the best part. When you stop reacting, you shift the focus back to yourself. You start asking, what do I need? What makes me happy? What's my next step? You stop being a character in their story and become the author of your own. That's where real freedom begins. As the great Seneca once said, he who is brave is free. Be brave enough to walk away from what doesn't serve you. Be brave enough to prioritize your peace. So here's your challenge. The next time someone throws a stone into your calm waters, let it sink. Don't chase after it. Don't let it ripple through your life. Instead, stand firm like the lake, unshaken and serene. And every time you feel the urge to react, take a deep breath and say this: I choose my peace. Write it in the comments below. Let it be your mantra, your anchor. And while you're at it, hit that like button and subscribe to this journey we're on together. Because, my friends, this is just the beginning. You're not just surviving, you're thriving. You're becoming a force of nature that no one can ignore. Let me leave you with this. Your peace is priceless. Guard it fiercely. Stay strong, stay unshaken, and always, always rise. Write it, live it, believe it, and stay with me. We're just getting started. Number 1, they can't dim your flame without your permission. Let me ask you something, folks. Who's steering the ship of your happiness? Is it you, holding the wheel steady? Or is it someone else, someone who can't even be bothered to stay consistent? Let's get honest for a second. Every time you let their actions dictate your emotions, you're handing over the keys to your peace like it's some free giveaway. That, my friends, is where the game changes. Because the only one who should have the power to light up or dim your flame is you. Now, it's not entirely your fault. Society has sold us this weird idea that reacting makes us stronger, that showing anger, tears, or frustration somehow proves our worth. But here's the hard truth. Their behavior doesn't reflect your value. It's their mirror, showing cracks in their own foundation. Yet, we let it pull us in, don't we? Why? Because deep down, there's that gnawing fear. What if our silence means they forget us, move on, or stop caring altogether? But listen up. Reacting doesn't pull them closer. It's like trying to hug someone who's running away. You just end up falling flat on your face. Your happiness, your peace, that's your candle, burning steady and bright. And every time you react, you hand them the wind to blow it out. Why let someone else mess with your light? My friends, keep that flame steady. Protect it like it's your most prized possession, because it is. Here's where most people trip up. They think acceptance means weakness. They're afraid that by staying calm, they'll look like they don't care. But let me tell you something. Acceptance is strength in disguise. It's not about pretending everything's fine. It's about standing tall and saying, I see your chaos, but it's not my storm to fight. Marcus Aurelius nailed it when he said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Look, I get it. It's hard. The heart wants answers. It wants to scream, why are they doing this to me? Why don't they care? But their confusion isn't yours to fix. Trying to save someone else's sinking ship when you're on solid ground only drags you into the deep. You're better off standing firm on your shore, watching them figure out their own storm. Here's the kicker. When you stop reacting, something incredible happens. You reclaim your power. It's like walking out of a dark room and flipping on the lights. You're no longer fumbling in their chaos. You're standing tall, steady, and clear. And that, my friends, leaves them utterly baffled. They'll wonder why their usual tactics aren't working. They'll feel that absence of control, and it'll make them question everything. Now, I won't sugarcoat it. It's not easy. At first, your mind will beg you to react. It'll whisper things like, if you don't show them how hurt you are, they'll think you don't care. But that's just fear talking, trying to keep you small. Fear loves to make you believe you're powerless without their validation. But you're not. You're so much stronger than that. Every time you pause instead of reacting, you're breaking fear's grip, one piece at a time. And let me tell you, silence, it's not just golden, it's magnetic. When they expect anger and get calm instead, It throws them off balance. It's like expecting a storm, but finding a sunny day. They won't know what to do with your stillness. That's the power of being unpredictable. When you stop playing by their rules, you set the stage for something they've never experienced before, a version of you they can't manipulate. So, here's what I want you to do. The next time you feel that wave of emotion, pause. Don't react. Don't hand over your power. Instead, remind yourself, I am in control of my happiness. Say it to yourself. Feel the strength in those words. Own it. That's your truth, and no one can take it from you unless you let them. And here's your affirmation for today. I am in control. Write it in the comments. Let the world and yourself know that you're done handing over the keys to your peace. You're taking back the reins, and you're doing it with grace and strength. Oh, and don't forget, if this hit home for you, tap that like button and subscribe. This journey we're on, it's just the beginning. You're becoming an unshakable force, a beacon of calm in a chaotic world. Let's keep walking this road together. Remember this. No one controls my flame. Say it, write it, live it. Let's go, my friends. You've got this. Stay with me, because what's coming next will transform the way you see yourself and the world around you. This is just the start. Number 2, the art of letting go without losing yourself. Let's talk about something that sounds simple but can feel like trying to climb a mountain barefoot. Acceptance. My friends, acceptance isn't about slapping on a fake smile or pretending you're not hurting. It's about staring disappointment in the face and saying, I see you, but you don't get to decide my next move. It's reclaiming the pen to your story and writing the next chapter, no matter how heavy the last one felt. Now, I won't lie to you. Acceptance is tough. It's like walking uphill with the wind pushing against you, and every step feels like a battle, especially when someone you cared about hurt you. But here's the truth. Pain is not your enemy. It's proof that you loved deeply, that your heart has strength and courage. And while it stings right now, it's also a reminder of how much you're capable of feeling, and that's something powerful. First, let's get real about those feelings. Don't bury them like forgotten junk in the attic, hoping they'll disappear. Sadness, anger, disappointment, they're natural. But remember this, those emotions are like passengers in your car. You let them ride along for a while, but you don't hand them the keys. They don't get to drive. Marcus Aurelius said it best. You have power over your mind, not outside events. You can't control what they did, but you have 100% control over how you respond. Imagine this. You're caught in a rainstorm. You can't stop the rain. It's going to pour whether you like it or not. But you get to choose. Do you stand there and let it soak you, or do you grab an umbrella and keep moving? Maybe you even dance in it, turning something miserable into something meaningful. That's what acceptance is. It's not denying the storm. It's deciding how you'll walk through it. So how do you practice acceptance when every fiber of your being wants to scream, cry, or demand answers? Start small. Breathe. Feel the weight of what you're experiencing, and then remind yourself, this feeling is temporary. I am bigger than this moment. Say it until it sticks, until you feel your strength trickling back in, drop by drop. Here's where people get tripped up. They think accepting what happened means letting the other person off the hook. But let me flip that for you. Acceptance isn't about forgiving them for their behavior. It's about freeing yourself from the need to fix, explain, or understand it. It's saying, I don't need to carry this anymore. I choose to move forward. Think of your emotions like a river. Trying to fight those feelings is like standing in the middle of the current, desperately trying to block the water with your hands. It's exhausting, and the river keeps flowing anyway. But when you accept them, it's like stepping into a boat and letting the current carry you. You're no longer fighting the flow. You're riding it, steady and calm. Now, let's be honest. There will be moments when you feel like snapping. You'll want to send that text, confront them, or demand answers. But ask yourself, will reacting change anything? Will it empower you or drain you? Because every time you choose to stay calm, you're choosing yourself over the chaos. And here's the magic. The more you practice acceptance, the lighter you feel. The weight of disappointment starts to fade. The emotions that seemed like tidal waves become ripples on the surface. You start to see things clearly, and suddenly you realize you're not waiting for their apology, their validation, or their explanation anymore. You're free. You're no longer sitting by the phone, second-guessing your worth. You're waking up every day, showing up for yourself, and living unapologetically. That's the gift of acceptance. It gives you back to you. So here's your challenge, my friends. The next time those feelings creep in, pause, take a breath, and say this out loud. Their actions are not my reflection. I choose peace. Write it in the comments below. Let it be a declaration of your power, of your choice to rise above. And let me leave you with this thought. What if this isn't the end, but the beginning? What if this heartbreak is the fire that forges you into the strongest, most resilient version of yourself? My friends, stick with me, because next we're diving into the transformative power of detachment, the final key to unlocking the freedom you deserve. Say it with me. I choose peace. Write it, believe it, live it. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, because together we're building something unstoppable. Stay with me. We've only just begun. Number 3, you're the plot twist they never saw coming. All right, my friends, let's get into the magic of flipping the script. You've already started reclaiming your peace and reminding yourself that their actions reflect them, not you. Now, it's time to elevate. Time to step into your power and rewrite the narrative. You're no longer the character they expect to control. You're the one holding the pen now, and trust me, that changes everything. Imagine this. They disappoint you again, thinking they've got you all figured out. They're expecting the usual: tears, anger, maybe a desperate message asking for clarity. But this time, you surprise them. You pause, you breathe, and instead of letting their chaos pull you in, you calmly carry on. That one moment of choosing calm over chaos, that's the plot twist. That's you, flipping the script and leaving them wondering what just happened. Here's why it's so powerful. When you stop reacting, you become the wild card in their game. They've been playing this game for so long, they think they know all the moves. But now, you've just taken their favorite piece off the board. They don't know how to counter. They're left scrambling, confused, because the version of you they thought they knew no longer exists. And here's the kicker. This doesn't just confuse them, it shifts how they see you. Suddenly, you're not the person they thought they could control or take for granted. You've become a mystery. You've gone from predictable to powerful, from someone they could count on for a reaction to someone who's untouchable. I know what you're thinking, but it's so hard not to react. Of course it is. Every part of you wants to scream, to demand answers, to make them see what they've done. But here's the harsh truth. Has reacting ever gotten you what you wanted? Has it ever made them value you more? Or has it left you feeling exhausted, empty, and even more unsure of yourself? Reacting is like running on a hamster wheel. You expend all your energy, but you're stuck in the same spot. Flipping the script is stepping off that wheel. It's saying, I'm done playing this game. I choose something better. It's recognizing that their behavior has nothing to do with your worth and everything to do with their own inner chaos. Now, let's talk about what happens when you flip the script and focus on yourself. All that energy you used to spend trying to understand them, you redirect it to your own growth. Imagine taking all that emotional effort and pouring it into your passions, your goals, your peace. You stop chasing shadows and start standing in your own light. And here's the thing about light. It's magnetic. It draws people in, including the ones who didn't value it before. Let me tell you a little secret. When you stop chasing, you shift the dynamic entirely. They'll notice your calm, your unshakable presence, and it'll throw them off. They'll start questioning themselves, wondering why their actions no longer get the response they're used to. And by the time they figure it out, you'll have moved on. You'll be too focused on your own story to care about theirs. Think of it this way. Flipping the script isn't just about confusing them. It's about empowering you. You're not just walking away from their chaos. You're walking toward your own strength. You're choosing to be the main character in your life, the one who decides where the story goes next. So here's your challenge. The next time they let you down, instead of reacting, pause. Take a deep breath and remind yourself, I am the author of my story. Say it out loud. Write it in the comments below. Let it be your declaration to yourself and the world that you're done with their game. And let me ask you this. What if this moment isn't about losing them, but about finding yourself? What if their behavior is the catalyst for you to become the strongest, most resilient version of you? Stick with me, my friends, because next we're diving into the transformative power of detachment. It's not just a mindset. It's the key to thriving in ways you never imagined. Say it with me. I am the author. Write it. Believe it. Live it. And while you're here, tap that like button and subscribe, because together we're building something unstoppable. This is your journey, your transformation, your freedom. Let's keep walking this path, one powerful step at a time. You've got this. Stay with me. We're only just getting started. Number 4, letting go to stand taller. All right, my friends, we've talked about flipping the script. Now it's time to unlock the secret that takes your power to the next level, detachment. And no, detachment isn't about becoming cold or shutting people out. It's about making a bold choice, choosing yourself over their chaos. It's looking at their actions and saying, I see it, but I won't let it define me. I care, but I won't lose myself in the process. Let's get real for a second. How often have you tied your peace to someone else's actions? How many nights have you spent waiting for a message, replaying their words in your head, or questioning your worth because of their behavior? Detachment is stepping off that emotional roller coaster. It's realizing that their inconsistency is their burden, not yours. Think of it like this. Imagine you're holding a rope tied to a helium balloon. You're gripping it tightly, terrified of letting it go because you think it's holding you up. But the truth? That balloon isn't helping you. It's keeping you stuck, wearing you out with the struggle to hold on. Now imagine letting go. At first, it feels terrifying. That balloon floats away, and for a moment, you feel the emptiness. But then you look down and realize you're standing on solid ground. That's detachment. It's not losing something, it's gaining yourself. But here's the thing, detachment takes courage. It means facing your fears head on. The fear of being alone, the fear that you're not enough, the fear that letting go means losing them forever. But let me tell you something that will flip the way you see it. Holding on doesn't keep them closer. It only chains you to their chaos. Detachment is about shifting the power dynamic. It's saying, I see your inconsistency, but it's not my job to fix it. I accept you for who you are, but I choose my happiness first. It's subtle, but it's transformative. Because the moment you detach, the focus turns back to you, your growth, your goals, and your peace. And here's where the magic begins. When you detach, you stop reacting to every little thing. You stop chasing explanations, apologies, or closure. Instead, you start pouring all that energy into yourself. You find what makes you feel alive. You rediscover the things that light up your soul. Let's get one thing clear. Detachment isn't about abandoning love. It's about redefining it. It's about building relationships where your worth isn't dependent on their mood or actions. Because, my friends, you are already whole. Their presence or absence doesn't add or subtract from who you are. Here's a simple truth for you to hold on to. Letting go doesn't weaken you. It sets you free. Free to live, love, and thrive without needing anyone else to complete you. So, here's your challenge today. When the urge to hold on tight creeps in, pause, breathe, and say this. I release what doesn't serve me. Write it in the comments below. Let it be a promise to yourself that you're stepping into your power, one moment at a time. And don't worry, this isn't the end of the story. Stick around, because next, we're diving into how this new sense of detachment doesn't just bring peace. It brings the right kind of connections into your life. My friends, you're stepping into something extraordinary. You're choosing freedom over fear. You're becoming a force no one can ignore. Say it with me. I release what doesn't serve me. Write it. Believe it. Live it. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, because together we're building a movement of strength, resilience, and unstoppable peace. This is your journey, your story. Let's keep walking it together. You're unstoppable. Stay with me, because the best is yet to come. Number 5. Your calm is their chaos. All right, my friends, let's dive into the quiet power of your calmness. We've talked about flipping the script, but now it's time to see how your stillness becomes the ultimate game changer. Your calm isn't just a reaction, it's a revolution. It's the kind of energy that shakes their expectations and redefines the way they see you, and more importantly, the way you see yourself. Let's start with a truth that hits hard. Silence is louder than noise. It's not about ghosting or playing mind games. It's about showing that you've outgrown the need to respond to chaos. Picture that chessboard again. They've always predicted your next move, knowing you'd play into their hands. But now, you've flipped the entire board. You're no longer a piece in their game. You're the one writing the rules. And, oh, they'll notice. They'll sit there wondering, why aren't they reacting? What's changed? Your calmness is like a mirror, reflecting back their own insecurities and actions. They'll question if they've lost control, if you've moved on, or if they've underestimated your strength. And that confusion, it's the ripple effect of your stillness. But let's be honest, it's not always easy. There will be moments when every fiber of your being wants to scream, do you see what you're losing? Do you even care? But resisting that urge is where the transformation happens. It's like tending to a fire. If you keep throwing wood on it, reacting, you feed the flames. But if you let it burn out, the smoke clears, and you're left with clarity. That's the magic of calmness. Choosing silence doesn't mean you've stopped caring. In fact, it shows you care deeply about yourself. It's not about revenge, it's about respect. You're not closing the door on them. You're opening the door to yourself. You're saying, "Your chaos doesn't control me. I own my peace." Think of it this way. Your silence is a magnifying glass. It forces them to sit with their choices, their patterns, and their actions. They can no longer distract themselves with your reactions. And guess what? That's not your burden to carry. It's theirs to figure out. Meanwhile, you're free to focus on the only person who truly deserves your energy, you. Here's the best part. As you practice this calmness, you'll start to notice something amazing. The validation you once craved from them. It pales in comparison to the peace you're building within yourself. You'll realize you don't need their acknowledgement, their apology, or even their presence to feel whole. That's the kind of strength that changes everything. So here's your affirmation for today. My silence is my strength. Write it in the comments below. Let it echo in your heart and remind you of the power you're reclaiming. And if you're wondering what happens next, what life looks like when you fully embrace this calm, stick with me. Next, we'll explore how this strength doesn't just protect you, but attracts the right people and opportunities into your life. You're on the edge of something extraordinary, my friends. This calm, this peace, it's your foundation for a brighter, stronger future. So let's keep moving forward, one steady, powerful step at a time. Write it, live it, believe it. My silence is my strength. Stay with me. We're just getting started. Number 6, your path begins here. All right, my friends, let's talk about what comes next. You've learned to find calm in the chaos. You've reclaimed your power by staying silent when it mattered most. Now, it's time to take everything you've discovered, acceptance, detachment, strength, and turn it into something extraordinary. Because let's face it, you're not here to merely survive disappointment. You're here to rise above it and thrive. Disappointment, heartbreak, rejection, they're like wandering into a dense, dark forest. The kind where every path feels like a dead end and every step feels heavier than the last. But let me tell you something. That forest isn't the end. It's just the start of your journey. Every step you take, even when it feels small, is pulling you closer to the light. Here's the key. When life feels heavy, start by grounding yourself. Take a deep breath. Feel the weight of the moment, but don't let it crush you. Instead, let it remind you of your strength. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." That disappointment you're feeling, it's not a dead end, it's a doorway. Step through it, my friends, because there's something beautiful waiting on the other side. Now, focusing on your journey doesn't mean ignoring the hurt. It means letting that hurt guide you toward rediscovering yourself. What's something you've set aside because life got in the way? Painting, running, learning a language. This is your moment to pour energy into what lights you up. That's how you heal, not by looking back, but by stepping forward into the things that make you come alive. Think of your life as a garden. For too long, you've been watering weeds, hoping they'd bloom. Now it's time to tend to the flowers, the parts of your life that truly grow. Invest in yourself. Pick up books that inspire you. Surround yourself with people who lift you higher. Build habits that nourish your soul. This is how you shift your energy. And let's talk about that energy for a moment. When you stop watering the weeds, when you stop chasing the wrong people, you start thriving. Suddenly, you see the bigger picture. You realize that rejection isn't about your worth. It's a redirection, guiding you towards something better. Every step you take to choose yourself is a step toward freedom, peace, and purpose. But let's be real, there will still be tough days. Days when the weight feels heavier than usual. And that's okay. You're human. Feel those emotions. Let them pass through like clouds in the sky. But always remember, you're the sun. You're the constant shining light that pushes through, no matter how dark the clouds seem. Here's the magic in all of this. When you truly embrace your journey, the world notices. Your energy shifts, and you stop chasing what doesn't serve you. Instead, you start attracting everything that aligns with your worth, opportunities, relationships, and peace. You become a magnet for the life you deserve. So here's your affirmation for today. I choose growth over pain. Say it out loud. Write it in the comments below. Let it be a declaration, a promise to yourself that you're stepping forward into your power. And remember this, your journey isn't just about moving on, it's about moving up. You're building a life so full, so vibrant, that the people who didn't value you become nothing more than a faint whisper in the wind. Stay with me, my friends, because we're diving even deeper. Next, we'll explore how embracing growth and letting go transforms not just your mindset, but your entire reality. You're becoming unstoppable, and this is only the beginning. Say it with me. I am growing. Write it, believe it, live it. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let's keep walking this path together. You're not just surviving, you're thriving. And your story? It's only just getting started. Number 7. How your calm creates waves of change. Now that you've embraced acceptance, let's talk about what happens next. When you choose peace over reaction, when you ground yourself instead of spiraling, something powerful begins to unfold. You're no longer just changing yourself, you're changing the world around you. Acceptance isn't just a decision, it's a ripple effect that spreads far beyond your own life. Think of it like dropping a stone into a still pond. At first, it's just a splash, a single moment. But then, the ripples begin to move outward, reaching places you never expected. That's what happens when you embrace calm and clarity. Your energy doesn't just stop with you, it touches everyone and everything around you. Imagine walking into a room, not carrying the weight of anger or anxiety, but radiating calm. Your energy becomes like a lighthouse in the fog, steady, guiding, impossible to ignore. People feel it before you even say a word. Those who thrive on chaos or drama might find themselves confused, even frustrated by your unshakable presence. They can't pull you into their storm because your peace is too solid, too grounded. And then there are the right people, the ones who value strength, stability, and authenticity. They'll be drawn to you like moths to a flame. Your calm creates space for meaningful connections, for relationships built on mutual respect and understanding. When you're not chasing validation or approval, you stop settling for crumbs and start demanding what you truly deserve. That's not arrogance, my friends. That's knowing your worth. Here's something to think about. When you stop reacting to life and start responding with intention, you create space for better opportunities. Challenges don't feel like walls anymore. They become doors waiting to be opened. By keeping your energy focused and not wasting it on things or people you can't control, you'll approach life with a clarity and resilience that will leave others wondering how you do it. Of course, this mindset takes work. Old habits and patterns will try to creep back in. There will be moments when the temptation to react feels overwhelming, but every time you choose acceptance, every time you pause and ground yourself, you're building a stronger foundation. You're proving to yourself that you are the calm within your own storm. This isn't just about how others perceive you, it's about how you see yourself. When you operate from this place of calm and confidence, you stop needing the outside world to validate your worth. That kind of inner peace, it's magnetic. It draws in what's meant for you and repels what isn't. And that's how you begin to transform not just your relationships, but your entire reality. So, here's your challenge for today. Every time you feel the urge to react, pause and remind yourself, I create peace around me. Write it in the comments below. Let it be a reminder, a declaration of the ripple effect you're sending out into the world. And here's the beautiful part. The ripples don't stop. The more you lean into this mindset, the deeper and wider they spread. You're not just shaping your own life, you're inspiring others to find their calm too. Curious about what happens next? Stick with me, because next we're diving into how acceptance and peace pave the way for forgiveness, both for others and for yourself. That's where true freedom begins. You're building something extraordinary, my friends, a life grounded in strength, clarity, and authentic joy. Keep walking this path. Trust the process. Watch as the ripples you create reshape your world. You've got this, and I'm so excited to see where this journey takes you. Stay with me. This is only the beginning. Number 8. When they return, you're already free. So here we are, my friends. After all the silence, growth, and calmness you've cultivated, there's a shift, a subtle but powerful energy shift. And then it happens, they come crawling back. But here's the twist. By the time they do, you've uncovered something far more valuable than their return. You've discovered the true gift of acceptance. Let's break it down. When you stop reacting, chasing, or seeking validation, you create a ripple effect that shakes the foundation of their world. They feel it, your absence, your stillness, your silence. Suddenly, the energy they once took for granted, the version of you they thought would always be there, is gone. It's like a missing piece in a puzzle that leaves the picture incomplete. And trust me, my friends, that void gnaws at them. But here's the beauty of it. You've changed. By the time they come back, the weight of their return no longer lands the way it once did. Because you've grown, you've risen. And here's the truth they don't realize. Their return isn't about your worth. It's about the void you left behind. They're not crawling back because they suddenly see the light. They're coming back because they can't fill the space where you used to be. Picture this. They show up at your door, looking for the version of you they once knew. But that version, gone. You've evolved into someone stronger, wiser, and more grounded. You've stepped into your power, and there's no going back to being the person they thought they could control or take for granted. But let's get real. This is where the temptation kicks in. The heart whispers, maybe this time it'll be different. Maybe they've changed. And while that hope may feel natural, let me remind you of something. The gift of acceptance isn't about them. It's about you. It's about realizing your worth and never letting anyone else define it again. So when they come back, ask yourself the hard questions. Does this person align with the life you're building now? Do their actions reflect the respect and consistency you've learned to demand? Or is this just another attempt to pull you into a cycle you've already outgrown? The power lies in the fact that you now get to choose. You're no longer at the mercy of their whims or inconsistencies. You've learned to detach, to focus on your growth, and to live in peace. Whether you let them back into your life or not, the decision is entirely yours. You're writing the story now, and you're no longer a side character in someone else's drama. And let me tell you something about this gift of acceptance. It's freedom. It frees you from the chains of needing closure, from the endless cycle of proving your worth, and from the fear of walking this journey alone. You're standing tall in your authenticity, ready to welcome only those who truly respect and honor your value. Now, a word of caution. If they do come back, don't just listen to their words, watch their actions. Acceptance doesn't mean ignoring red flags or lowering your standards. It means seeing the truth clearly and acting from a place of power, not fear. Here's your affirmation for today. I honor my growth. Say it out loud. Write it in the comments below. Let it be a reminder that no matter who comes back or who walks away, your peace, your growth, and your self-worth are untouchable. And if you're wondering what life looks like when you fully embrace this gift of acceptance, stick with me. We're going to dive deeper into how this mindset transforms not just your relationships, but your entire life. You've stepped into a new chapter, and the opportunities ahead are aligned with the person you're becoming. You've come so far, my friends. The person they thought they knew, gone. What remains is someone stronger, wiser, and freer than ever before. You're not just surviving, you're thriving. And that, my friends, is the ultimate gift of acceptance. Say it with me. I honor my growth. Write it, believe it, live it. And while you're here, tap that like button and subscribe. This journey isn't over. We're just getting started. Stay with me, because what's ahead will only make you stronger. Let's walk this path together. As we close, my friends, remember this. Acceptance isn't just a choice. It's freedom. It's choosing calm over chaos, peace over pain, and strength over reaction. You've reclaimed your power, flipped the script, and built a life centered on your own joy. When they come back, you'll no longer be waiting. You've grown, you've risen, and you've claimed your freedom. Say it with me. I choose my peace. Write it below. If this resonated, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs this reminder. Let's rise together, stronger, wiser, and unstoppable. This is your time. Let's go.